Okay, so it's July 28th. Just double check. So I mean about not being able to see it. I can't see the text until I turn my phone off and on again. I still have a problem reading it. 28th, because it's only that big. You know, like how do you see that? I can't read that little text under the 3. Anyway, it's the 28th. I'm recording on a different device because my other one ran out of space and it's not freeing up the space when I tell it to. So, yeah, to continue, I don't recommend carrying a weapon of any kind at all, ever, because it can be used against you, and it could harm you more in the end than you need. So, I've suffered a lot of injuries from being attacked. The most recently one being punched 6 times by my neighbor, and it's when you least expect it. I didn't expect it from this person who, from my perspective, I see them as a non-binary, maybe a trans person, so I didn't expect another person who's non-binary to punch me 6 times for like no reason, other than like my only interaction with the world, and I've said this to many people, is making these YouTube videos, so maybe they saw one and doesn't like trans guys, I don't know what it is. But I try not to go there too much, which is a side effect of being attacked, and that happened in my own home, in my building. I was taking out the garbage, which, like, there's 5 feet from my front door of my apartment to the elevator, and from there to the garbage room, and between those 10 feet, I was punched 6 times. So, sometimes it's really unexpected when somebody is like holding the door open for you and saying, "Here you go through the door, it's okay," and I'm just like really hesitant because I've been attacked before, and then once they had me in this contained space, they attacked me and there was nothing I could do. So it's usually situations like that. It's somebody you know, somebody like who's maybe queer or trans themselves, who's having a denial issue, or when it's so strong in themselves and they're trying to make it work as a cishet person, there's this internal conflict that they have, and it's all them. It's nothing to do with you. You're doing your own thing. I have no interest in anybody else right now, in any way whatsoever. So, like, I just want to be left alone, and for long portions of my life I've wanted to be left alone, because every time I've had no interaction with people for 2 years, and then I get punched 6 times, like, why, you know? So that's not the way to go about it. It's not the, don't sink to their level, or, like, if it's, I really believe in things like Zen Buddhism and karma, and if it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and how you go is already predetermined by the universe, or the creator, or whatever you follow. But I feel it aggravates the situation when you start carrying weapons, carrying pepper spray, taking up arms, and whatnot, that, I feel even for myself. After that experience that happened a few months ago, I thought about taking boxing classes, but then I'm a pacifist, so I could have very easily punched this person, but I chose not to. Like, I'm a pacifist. I choose not to be an aggressor, and if things happen to me, those are the results of the aggressor. So that they live in my attacker lives in my building, they will see that I was physically severely disabled from his injuries that he caused me, and he has to live with that. So I feel that's like, it's hard to deal with, you know, like, a lot of people say, well, you look young and you're healthy and you have a lot of life to live, and for one, like, I wasn't allowed to transition until I was 35. So that my puberty was stunted for, that, minus 15 is what, 23 years or something. I wasn't allowed to go through puberty. So I looked like I was a 16-year-old boy. And I'm very adamant about saying, no, I'm this age, like, society, please treat me at this level of capability, of mental clarity, of success, and, right to income equality and job opportunities. And I wasn't provided that. And now that I sort of I look like I'm in my early 30s, but I'm 43, like and I have multiple spinal injuries because of being attacked. My first attack that injured my back was when I was in high school. I was attacked anonymously by a skier flying at me. He broke my nose. It broke here, and then down, and then across here, and it's caused me breathing problems for the rest of my life, and I haven't been able to afford to have it properly straightened for the rest of my life because of these systemic issues, income disparity. Oh, you don't look old enough, you don't look mature enough for that job position, those kind of suppositions I could see forced upon me, and that has its consequences. And because of that injury, which also broke a rib that sticks out quite a bit, I don't know if you can see how that sticks out, and the side is flat. That was broken, and then it herniated 2 discs in my back, and then it twisted me as well because he smashed me across the face with his ski pole up against his arm. That's kind of unexpected. Like, if I had a weapon, I'd pull out a knife suddenly, and then he's already skiing down the hill, like, if the attacker wants to get you, he will find a way. And I feel very sure that it was a student from the school I was in. So who it was, I don't know. I didn't see them. I had blood gushing out of my nose and mouth. It was really a horror show. And it wrecked my back. And then, other attacks happened, and it's caused so many herniations to discs in my back, and I have constant sciatic pain down my leg, and I can only stand or sit for 4 hours before needing to lie down. And if I don't get to it, my eyes go black, I'll start tearing up. I'm in so much pain, you have no idea. And no medication works. I've tried every medication that there is, and nothing outside of, I recommend trying CBD isolate, which is a subsidiary of marijuana, but has no THC in it, so there is no high, but it's expensive and it's not covered, and, I don't have any, so I have to lie down until the next paycheck from disability. So yeah, don't get into those situations. I have issues with that too. So what do? My garbage piles up because I'm afraid to take my garbage out. I'm afraid to move anywhere else because it's actually the safest place I've lived in my life. Like this neighborhood. Where do I move to? I can't pay this amount of rent that I've been paying for 15 years. Like, I won't find that in an accessible place. Something of similar value is, I don't know how far it is from here, but it's kind of on the edge of the core, and it would be about a half-hour to 40-minute bicycle ride to get just basic groceries. Like, I can't do it, you know, like I can only put pressure onto my spine and compress those discs. Like, I feel the bones grinding on each other with every step I take that I walk my dog, you know. So, if you can avoid confrontation, avoid it. Try to get out of there. I've had to, like, run behind rows of houses between a swamp and a row of houses' backyards and hop fences to get away from attackers, and I'd rather that than have the 5 or 6 guys piled on top of me causing permanent disability. I don't want to get into a fight, you know. For all the anger I have, like, about people not accepting trans people, like, I don't want to fight them ever. I never want to get hurt ever again. And you gotta put that somewhere else. I was talking to another young person online that has these feelings, and I suggest running. Running is useful. It works out your whole body. It can get you away from a dangerous situation. Sometimes the things we have in place don't always work and are not reliable. Police are not reliable. We've actually, the trans community has had to train police, and the person who trained them has since committed suicide. So, like, and the police I came across didn't do anything. So, put that work into your art, your poetry, your videos, your exercising. I recommend don't let them give that energy to them. You know, if somebody's taunting you or whatever, like, as best you can, like, try to redirect